your top 5 contest prep questions. That's what's happening today on Gainz. I'm Milton from TeamFFLEX. You're on my show, Gainz O'Clock, every Friday on TeamFFLEX TV. I come right here and we cover your questions, the ones from you out there, ones I get from clients, ones I get from my DMs, ones I get from wherever. It's your questions. I pick 5 of them that I like because we used to do this for way too long, and I answer these for you now, these 5 questions. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. It's what we do every week, and it's just one of 5 shows I run all week. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, please, and thank you. We're going to get right down to it right now, right away. Let's see what we got. This question comes from Deanna. How many weeks should your first prep be? Great question, Deanna. Here's the answer. First preps often should be a little bit longer, okay? So you guys might hear the standard term, 12-week prep, whatever. That's pretty much the standard, but a lot of times when you're doing your first prep, you want to do it a little bit longer, and it's basically because you want to make sure that you have enough room to make up for anything that could come along the way, right? When we're talking about 12 weeks or more than that, we're talking about months at a time, right? 12 weeks can sound small. 3 months often sounds a lot more in your head, right? But really you're talking about months of time where things can happen, things can change. Maybe for one, you're not on the right track, all of a sudden you got to change something, or something happens, or it's your first prep, maybe you didn't take it as seriously as you needed to, you went a little bit off the rails, got to reset, or something in your life changed. I've seen it a bunch of times where people lose their job, or they have some other problem, or maybe something's going on in their life at the time where it takes them off the program a little bit for a week or whatever happens, and they got to kind of regroup, get back on. Well, if you give yourself more time than you need, now you have time for those kind of things to happen. It's almost like preventative measures to be ahead of the curve. If that comes around, you're not going to be, set back, have to find a different show. You'll be able to be like, all right, I got to get back on track, and I'm still on track for that competition. So first preps, I would say, more like the 16 weeks. That's what I say. That's what I generally, have people do, is 16-week type preps for first time prep. Gives you enough time to get ready and get yourself in the zone, all right? All right, question number 2 from Jessica. What are some tips to get better at posing fast? Posing fast, get better at posing. I'm assuming you mean like not posing fast, but how get your posing better overall faster. So the answer would be pose as often as you can, right? First things first, you want to make sure you're posing every day. Practice every day, 10 to 15 minutes. Dedicate the time. Just do it. Just do it. I know nobody wants to do it. You don't want to always go get your shoes on, do all that, put your suit on, do all that. Hey, do it. Take time every day to actually do your posing and treat it just like you would on stage. Don't do it in your socks in your living room and your sweatpants and think that that's the same. Get fully suited up, get your heels on, get the whole thing together, and go pose. And that's really where you're going to be in the spot to be able to practice 10 to 15 minutes a day. Great start. And then do this. This is what I have a lot of competitors do, especially first timers when they got to build a routine. Pose between sets. Pose between sets at the gym. You heard me. When you're doing a rest, normally you're just sitting there doing nothing. Make something of it. Pose. Do posing. Do it in the gym. You'll get a lot of weird looks, but hey, you know what? You're going to get some looks when you're on stage too, and you got to get used to this stuff, and it will make you a better poser. The more you can pose, the better. So pose at the gym too. Pose every day. Just keep posing. That's really how you get better. And if you don't have a posing coach, you're crazy. None of those things matter. Start back at step 1 and get a posing coach. Then do those things I said right there, all right? Let's dive into question number 3 right after this break.
TeamFFLEX.com presents a revolution in the online competition coaching experience. Contest prep has been redefined. From anywhere around the world, at the touch of a button, your entire totally custom coaching experience built just for you. Constantly monitored and adapted by your own expert competition coach. The most complete competition coaching experience awaits you now. Go to TeamFFLEX.com and try it free.
All right, question number 3 comes from Ben. How can I diet without losing muscle? Really, no matter what, Ben, you're going to lose a little bit of muscle when you diet down, okay? When you're on prep, you're going to lose muscle. The art of dieting and, being in the deficit causes that little bit of muscle loss. It's just the way it goes. Best way to stave off muscle loss is to do a few different things. Make sure your recovery is on point. You want to make sure you're getting as much sleep as you can. Take naps if you need to. You know, take time to do things like mobility and foam rolling and stuff that's going to be good for your body to recover. It's going to help your muscles recover and make sure you're not burning through them faster than you should be. And also keep your protein intake high when you're on prep. And lastly, don't take your calories too low too fast, okay? You want to diet down at a slow, sustainable pace, keep that protein up high, and make sure you're optimizing that recovery. And you know, really I could also throw in there, don't overdo cardio, don't overdo overtraining. Just make sure you're training on a good program with the right cardio, getting a lot of rest, keeping that protein high, and dieting sustainably. And that's going to be how you can maintain the most muscle while still on a prep, while still dieting down, doing all this. That's really how you're going to be able to do it. But no matter what, you're always going to lose a little bit. It's just the way the deficit works, the way the body works. Your body doesn't want to hold expensive muscle tissue when you're dieting, but you know, you can stab off that and keep your as much possible by doing those tips there. So hope that helps. All right, let's dive to question number 4. This is from Patricia. Want to eventually do figure. Can I do bikini now and build till I get there? This is actually a great question. I get this question often from a lot of people. Yes, you can always build into another division. There's no question about that. But if you start in bikini, you got to keep in mind that every time you do a prep, you know, it kind of goes back to almost this question before that. Every time you do a prep, you're not going to be building any new muscle. You know, you're going to be losing a little bit of muscle here and there. You know, obviously if you want to do bikini now, but you want to do figure's going to require a lot more muscle. So you got to keep in mind perspective that as you keep doing shows, as you keep competing and dieting, doing that, and trying to attain that look for bikini, it's kind of going counter to your goals to actually go to figure. You know, so I would say maybe do a show or something like that. Just get your feet in there. I don't know how often, you know, you've been competing. Just says you want to eventually do figure, so I don't know how long you have been competing before, but you know, you maybe do a show or two, something like that, and then move in to actually just doing an improvement phase, a build phase, to actually get ready for figure. And the muscle you're going to need for figure is not going to be good for bikini, and the muscle and you know all that you need for bikini is not going to be good for figure. So really, I would say it's better to just kind of take a step back and say, all right, if I want to do figure, I got to build, and then build and go do figure. Don't spend too much time trying to do bikini before you go to figure. All right. Okay, last question, you guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, please. And check out our free coaching trial at TeamFFLEX.com. If you haven't yet, it's free, and it shows you a lot of great stuff. If you like this channel, you like that, a lot more, let me tell you. All right, let's see. Question number 5 from Devin. How do I maintain my leg size on prep? And this is funny because this is almost like a very similar question to how do you diet without losing muscle? You know, maintaining leg size on prep really does come down to making sure that you have all your variables lined up, but really it comes down to mostly not overdoing cardio. Okay, when you do a lot of cardio, ladies and gents out there, I'm assuming this is a man saying this, but it works for women too. You know, if you're doing a lot of cardio, you're doing Stairmaster, you're doing elliptical, you're doing treadmill, you're doing all this stuff trying to get lean, well, it will work for getting lean, but it's also going to take a lot of muscle off you. You know, you start hitting your muscles in a different way when now they're becoming more endurance muscles, right? Every step you take on a Stairmaster, every step you take on a treadmill, all this, they're kind of just firing. Well, it honestly takes away from that muscle belly. It's going to kind of reduce it, and it's going to make it smaller. So that's why you lose a lot of size a lot of times when you're overdoing cardio. So make sure you don't overdo cardio, but make sure, again, you got your macros right, your protein right, all that right. I would say the number 1 tip, though, to not lose leg size would be to continue to train legs heavy and avoid doing too much cardio. I mean, if you can split your cardio between upper and lower body, that's even better. You know, some people require that. Sometimes I have to make some guys that have problems with their leg size on prep, you know, I have to make them do the row or some, or you know, there's machines with the ropes where you pull it, things like that to really target the cardio, not as much focus on the standing and the stepping and doing all that. So there's a bunch of different ways to do this. If you need more help with that, I can show you on our trial for sure kind of how you could do it. But that's it for Gainz O'Clock today, you guys. 5 questions. Let me know if you have any other questions or comments. I'll put them in the next video. Drop them below. I'm happy to do that for you. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, all right? Thanks for watching. Coach Rye is out.